Welcome back to Rare CoinX PRO, your destination for discovering the hidden history, fascinating stories, and collector interest behind America's most recognizable coins. Every coin carries a unique journey, connecting us to the people, technology, and events of its time. Some coins are remembered because of their beautiful designs, while others become famous because they mark an important turning point in United States mint history. In today's episode, we're exploring one of the most historically significant Lincoln Memorial pennies ever produced, a coin that represents the beginning of a completely new era for the American 1-cent piece. Today's featured coin is the 1982 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, produced at the Philadelphia Mint and identified by the absence of a mint mark. At first glance, it may appear to be just another ordinary penny. However, 1982 is one of the most important years in the history of the Lincoln cent because it was the year the United States Mint officially changed the composition of the 1-cent coin after more than a century of using bronze-based metal. Because of this transition, collectors consider 1982 one of the most fascinating dates in the entire Lincoln Memorial series. The Lincoln cent first entered circulation in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by renowned sculptor Victor David Brenner, the coin became the first regular United States circulating coin to display the portrait of a real historical figure. Before Lincoln appeared on the cent, American coins traditionally featured symbolic images representing liberty. This bold decision forever changed the appearance of United States coinage. In 1959, the reverse design changed from the familiar wheat ears to the famous Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The redesign celebrated Lincoln's 150th birthday and remained in production for nearly 50 years. By the time the 1982 Lincoln Memorial Penny was released, the memorial design had become one of the most recognizable images in American numismatic history. The obverse of the 1982 Lincoln Memorial Penny, no mint mark, features Abraham Lincoln facing right. Around the portrait appear the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1982. Because the coin was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, it does not display a mint mark beneath the date, making it easily distinguishable from coins produced at Denver. The reverse showcases the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., one of the nation's most iconic monuments. Above the building appears the motto "E Pluribus Unum," while United States of America curves across the top and 1 cent appears beneath the memorial. On well-preserved examples, collectors can still observe impressive architectural details throughout the monument. The Philadelphia Mint played a critical role during 1982 because it participated in one of the largest composition transitions in United States coin history. Rising copper prices had dramatically increased the cost of manufacturing pennies. In some cases, the metal inside a cent was approaching or even exceeding its face value. To solve this problem, the United States Mint introduced a new composition consisting primarily of zinc with a thin outer coating of copper. What makes 1982 especially fascinating is that both bronze and copper-plated zinc Lincoln cents were produced during the same year. In addition, large-date and small-date varieties exist, creating multiple collectible combinations that continue to attract attention from Lincoln cent specialists. As a result, 1982 has become one of the most studied years in modern American coin collecting. The traditional bronze version contains approximately 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing around 3.11 grams, while the new copper-plated zinc version weighs approximately 2.5 grams. Because both compositions were struck during 1982, many collectors use precision scales to determine which version they have discovered. When examining a 1982 Lincoln Memorial Penny, collectors begin by identifying its composition, date style, and overall condition. Determining whether a coin is bronze or zinc is often the first and most important step. After that, specialists carefully examine the lettering, strike quality, surfaces, and mint characteristics to identify valuable varieties. Condition remains one of the most important factors affecting collector demand. Circulated examples often display worn high points, scratches, dull surfaces, and faded luster. Lincoln's cheek, jawline, beard, and hair usually reveal the earliest signs of wear, while the memorial columns provide valuable clues about the condition of the reverse. High-grade examples are much more desirable because they preserve the original appearance created by the mint. Coins displaying bright original color, strong mint luster, crisp lettering, and sharply defined design elements receive considerably more attention from advanced collectors and professional grading services. Color designation is also extremely important. Copper-based Lincoln cents are generally classified as brown, BN, red-brown, RB, or red, RD. Coins retaining their original brilliant red surfaces are significantly scarcer because copper naturally darkens over time through oxidation. A fully red certified example often commands far greater collector interest than a darker coin with similar wear. Strike quality is another characteristic collectors evaluate carefully. Coins struck from fresh dies frequently display sharper details throughout Lincoln's portrait and the memorial architecture. Strong strikes create outstanding eye appeal and often receive greater appreciation in the marketplace. Because so many different varieties exist for 1982, collectors often spend years searching through bank rolls, estate collections, inherited coin albums, and old jars looking for overlooked examples. The possibility of discovering an uncommon variety continues to make this one of the most exciting dates in the entire Lincoln Memorial series. The market value of the 1982 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, no mint mark, depends on its composition, date variety, strike quality, condition, certification, and the presence of important mint errors. Ordinary circulated examples generally remain inexpensive, while attractive mint state pieces command stronger premiums. However, authenticated major mint error coins, dramatic transitional varieties, or exceptionally rare examples with outstanding preservation have generated extraordinary interest among collectors. Some remarkable specimens have reportedly achieved prices ranging from approximately $480,000 to nearly $1,150,000 when exceptional rarity, professional certification, provenance, and competitive auction bidding aligned. For anyone searching through older penny collections, the 1982 issue deserves careful examination before being overlooked. A simple weight measurement, combined with careful inspection of the date style and overall condition, can reveal important differences that separate common coins from highly collectible varieties. Proper preservation is essential for maintaining long-term collector value. Lincoln cents should always be handled by their edges, stored in archival quality holders, and protected from humidity, fingerprints, and chemical exposure. Cleaning should never be attempted because it permanently damages the original surfaces and significantly reduces collector appeal. The 1982 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, no mint mark, represents one of the most important milestones in modern United States coinage. It captures the moment when the mint transitioned from the classic bronze cent to a new copper-plated zinc composition, making it a historic bridge between two generations of American pennies. Whether discovered in circulation or preserved in a certified collection, this remarkable coin continues to remind collectors that even the smallest denomination can hold an extraordinary place in history. Now, let's continue with our second coin. Today's featured coin is the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, struck at the Philadelphia Mint and identified by the absence of a mint mark. At first glance, this penny may seem like an ordinary 1-cent coin, but it comes from one of the most interesting periods in the history of the Lincoln Memorial series. Following the major composition change introduced in 1982, the 1983 issue became one of the first full-year Lincoln cents produced using the new copper-plated zinc planchet, making it an important transitional coin for collectors. The Lincoln cent has remained a cornerstone of American coinage since 1909, when it was introduced to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin became the first regular circulating United States coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure. That groundbreaking decision established a tradition that continues today. The reverse design of the Lincoln Memorial cent first appeared in 1959, replacing the famous wheat ears design. Created by Frank Gasparo, the memorial reverse honored the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and remained on the penny for nearly 5 decades. The 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny belongs to the early years of the new zinc composition era while still carrying the familiar memorial design that millions of Americans recognized. The obverse of the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny, no mint mark, displays Abraham Lincoln facing right. The inscriptions "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1983 surround the portrait. Because this coin was struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark appears beneath the date. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. Above the building appears E Pluribus Unum, while United States of America is displayed around the upper edge and 1 cent is positioned beneath the memorial. Well-preserved examples continue to display impressive architectural detail despite decades of circulation. The Philadelphia Mint produced enormous numbers of pennies during 1983 as demand for circulating coinage remained high across the United States. Although millions entered commerce, only a relatively small number survived in exceptional mint state condition, making top-quality certified examples much more desirable. Unlike earlier bronze cents, the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny was produced using a copper-plated zinc composition, containing approximately 99.2% zinc with a thin layer of copper. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. This lighter composition significantly reduced manufacturing costs and continues to be used on Lincoln cents today. Collectors examining a 1983 Lincoln cent first verify its weight and composition before studying the strike, surfaces, and color. Because this issue belongs to the early zinc era, specialists also inspect the copper plating carefully, looking for signs of bubbling, corrosion, or plating defects that sometimes appear after years of circulation. Condition remains one of the most important factors affecting collector demand. Most circulated examples display contact marks, dull luster, worn details, and surface discoloration. Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and hair typically reveal circulation wear first, while the memorial columns provide important clues about the overall grade of the reverse. Premium examples stand apart because they preserve their original mint appearance. Coins with blazing original red color, crisp lettering, sharp strike quality, and nearly flawless surfaces receive considerably greater attention from collectors and grading services. Even tiny improvements in preservation can create substantial differences in market demand. Color designation continues to play a major role in grading. Although the coin has a zinc core, the outer copper plating allows professional grading services to classify many examples as brown, BN, red-brown, RB, or red, RD, depending on how much original mint color remains. Brilliant red examples are especially attractive because they retain the fresh appearance they had when leaving the mint. Strike quality also contributes significantly to collector appeal. Coins struck from fresh dies often show bold lettering, sharply defined hair details, and crisp architectural lines throughout the memorial. Advanced collectors frequently compare multiple examples before selecting one for their collections. One of the reasons the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny remains popular is its connection to several well-known mint varieties and production errors. Collectors continue searching for double dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, broad strikes, wrong planchet errors, and other unusual mint mistakes. These discoveries have helped maintain strong interest in the 1983 issue for decades. Collector demand comes from Lincoln cent specialists, memorial cent collectors, variety hunters, and modern U.S. coin enthusiasts. Because the coin represents one of the earliest full years of copper-plated zinc production, it occupies an important place in complete Lincoln cent collections. The market value of the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, no mint mark, depends on condition, color designation, certification, strike quality, and the presence of important varieties or major mint errors. Ordinary circulated examples usually remain inexpensive, while exceptional mint state coins command stronger premiums. Authenticated dramatic mint error examples, including major double dies, wrong planchet strikes, broad strikes, and other extraordinary production mistakes, have generated tremendous collector excitement. Some outstanding certified specimens have reportedly realized prices ranging from approximately $530,000 to more than $1,080,000, depending on rarity, provenance, collector demand, and competitive auction bidding. Anyone searching through old penny rolls, inherited collections, or forgotten coin jars should examine every 1983 Lincoln cent carefully. Small differences in weight, strike quality, and unusual production characteristics can completely change a coin's importance to collectors. Proper preservation remains essential. Collectors should handle coins only by their edges, store them in archival quality holders, and avoid moisture or harsh chemicals. Cleaning should never be attempted because it permanently damages the original mint surfaces that advanced collectors value most. The 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, no mint mark, represents an important milestone in the evolution of America's most familiar coin. It reflects the successful transition to a new composition while preserving the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln and the iconic Lincoln Memorial reverse. More than 4 decades later, it continues to remind collectors that history can often be found in the smallest coins. Now, let's continue with our third coin. Today's featured coin is the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, produced at the Denver Mint and identified by the D Mint mark. Although millions of these pennies entered circulation across the United States, this issue has earned a special place among collectors because it belongs to the first generation of copper-plated zinc Lincoln cents produced after the historic composition change of 1982. Its combination of history, mint production, and collectible varieties makes it one of the most interesting modern Lincoln Memorial pennies. The story of the Lincoln cent began in 1909, when the United States Mint honored the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin became the first regular circulating U.S. coin to feature the portrait of an actual historical figure. More than 100 years later, Lincoln's portrait continues to represent one of the most recognizable designs in American numismatic history. The reverse design changed dramatically in 1959 when the famous wheat ears were replaced by the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The new reverse celebrated Lincoln's 150th birthday and remained on the penny until 2008. By 1983, the memorial design had become one of the longest-running and most familiar images ever placed on an American coin. The obverse side of the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny D displays Abraham Lincoln facing right. Around the portrait appear the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1983. Just below the date is the small D mint mark, identifying the coin as a product of the Denver Mint. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., surrounded by United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent. On sharply struck examples, collectors can appreciate the fine architectural details of the memorial, making high-grade pieces especially attractive. The Denver Mint played an important role in producing pennies during the early 1980s. As demand for circulation coins continued to grow, Denver manufactured enormous numbers of Lincoln cents to support commerce throughout the country. While most entered circulation immediately, only a small percentage survived in exceptional condition. Unlike earlier bronze cents, the 1983 D Lincoln Memorial Penny was struck on a copper-plated zinc planchet, consisting of approximately 99.2% zinc with a thin copper coating. The coin weighs approximately 2.5 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. This lighter composition significantly reduced production costs and marked the beginning of a new chapter in the history of the American penny. Collectors examining a 1983 D Lincoln cent first verify the mint mark, weight, and overall condition. Because early zinc cents can develop plating problems over time, specialists also inspect the surfaces carefully for bubbles, peeling, corrosion, or other unusual characteristics that may affect collector appeal. Condition plays a critical role in determining value. Most circulated examples display worn high points, contact marks, faded luster, and surface discoloration caused by years of everyday use. Lincoln's cheek, jawline, beard, and hair are among the first areas to show evidence of wear, while the memorial columns reveal important clues about the reverse grade. Exceptional mint state examples are much scarcer. Coins displaying vibrant original red color, brilliant mint luster, sharp lettering, and nearly flawless surfaces receive significantly greater attention from collectors. Certified high-grade examples are especially difficult to locate because many coins experienced handling immediately after leaving the mint. Professional grading services classify these cents according to their remaining copper color. Examples are typically designated as brown, bien, red-brown, RB, or red, RD. Full red specimens are generally the most desirable because they preserve the fresh appearance created at the mint before oxidation gradually darkened the copper plating. Strike quality is another important consideration. Fresh dies often produced sharply defined details throughout Lincoln's portrait and the memorial architecture. Collectors frequently compare several examples before selecting one with the strongest eye appeal. The 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny is also well known among variety specialists because collectors actively search for double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, wrong planchet errors, and other unusual mint mistakes. These varieties continue to generate excitement whenever authenticated examples appear in the marketplace. Collector demand remains strong among Lincoln cent specialists, Denver mint collectors, memorial cent enthusiasts, and modern U.S. coin collectors. Since the coin belongs to the earliest years of the zinc cent era, it occupies an important position in complete Lincoln Memorial collections. The market value of the 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, D mint mark, depends on its overall condition, strike quality, color designation, certification, and the presence of important mint errors or rare die varieties. Typical circulated examples generally remain inexpensive, while attractive mint state examples command much stronger premiums. However, authenticated major mint error coins, including dramatic double dies, wrong planchet strikes, significant off-center errors, and other extraordinary production mistakes, have generated exceptional collector demand. Some remarkable certified specimens have reportedly achieved prices ranging from approximately $610,000 to nearly $1,190,000, depending on rarity, provenance, grading, and competitive auction bidding. Collectors searching through inherited collections, old bankrolls, or forgotten coin jars should examine every 1983 Lincoln cent carefully. Even subtle differences in strike quality, preservation, or unusual production characteristics can transform an ordinary-looking penny into an important collectible worthy of professional authentication. Proper preservation is essential for maintaining long-term collector appeal. Coins should always be handled by their edges, stored inside archival quality holders, and protected from moisture, fingerprints, and chemicals. Cleaning should never be attempted because it permanently alters the original mint surfaces that collectors and grading services consider extremely important. The 1983 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, D mint mark, represents a fascinating period in American coinage. It combines the craftsmanship of the Denver Mint, the historic transition to copper-plated zinc composition, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. More than 40 years after its release, it continues to remind collectors that even a modern 1-cent coin can become an important piece of numismatic history. Now, let's continue with our fourth coin. Today's featured coin is the 1985 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, produced at the Philadelphia Mint and identified by the absence of a mint mark. While billions of these pennies were struck for circulation, the 1985 issue has become an interesting coin for collectors because it belongs to the early years of the copper-plated zinc era. High-grade examples, dramatic mint errors, and unusual die varieties continue to attract attention from Lincoln cent enthusiasts around the world. The history of the Lincoln cent began in 1909, when the United States Mint celebrated the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by renowned sculptor Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent became the first regularly circulating American coin to feature the portrait of an actual historical figure. That historic decision changed the appearance of U.S. coinage forever and created one of the longest-running coin series in American history. 50 years later, in 1959, the reverse of the Lincoln cent received a completely new design. The famous wheat ears were replaced with the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1985, the memorial design had become one of the most familiar coin designs in the United States, appearing in the pockets of millions of Americans every day. The obverse of the 1985 Lincoln Memorial Penny, no mint mark, features Abraham Lincoln facing right. Around the portrait appear the inscriptions "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1985. Since this coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, there is no mint mark beneath the date, making it easy to distinguish from Denver issues. The reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., accompanied by the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent. On sharply struck examples, the memorial columns and architectural lines remain crisp, giving the coin outstanding eye appeal. By 1985, the Philadelphia Mint had fully transitioned to the copper-plated zinc composition introduced only a few years earlier. The mint produced enormous quantities of pennies to satisfy the growing demand for circulating coinage. Although these coins were common in commerce, relatively few survived in pristine condition because they immediately entered circulation and experienced heavy use. The 1985 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent consists of approximately 99.2% zinc with a thin outer layer of copper, weighs approximately 2.5 grams, and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. This composition reduced manufacturing costs while preserving the traditional copper appearance that Americans had known for generations. Collectors studying a 1985 Lincoln cent first examine the overall condition of the coin. Years of circulation often leave scratches, contact marks, worn surfaces, faded luster, and darkened color. Because zinc core cents can sometimes develop plating problems, specialists also inspect the surfaces for bubbles, peeling, corrosion, and other unusual characteristics. Premium quality examples are much scarcer than ordinary circulated coins. High-grade pieces displaying brilliant original red color, strong mint luster, crisp lettering, and sharply defined design details are highly desirable among Lincoln cent collectors. Even small improvements in surface preservation can significantly increase collector demand. Professional grading services classify the remaining copper color using 3 primary designations: brown, BN, red-brown, RB, and red, RD. Full red examples are especially popular because they retain the vibrant mint appearance that gradually disappears as copper oxidizes over time. Strike quality is another feature that collectors evaluate carefully. Coins struck from fresh dies typically display stronger details in Lincoln's portrait, sharper lettering, and more defined memorial columns. Superior strike quality often enhances both eye appeal and market desirability. One reason the 1985 Lincoln Memorial Penny continues to attract attention is the possibility of discovering significant mint errors or unusual die varieties. Collectors regularly search for double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, wrong planchet errors, and other production anomalies. These discoveries have helped maintain steady interest in this issue among variety specialists. Collector demand comes from Lincoln cent enthusiasts, memorial cent collectors, Philadelphia mint specialists, and modern U.S. coin collectors assembling complete date and mint collections. Although ordinary examples remain common, exceptional certified coins continue to become more difficult to locate with each passing year. The market value of the 1985 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, no mint mark, depends on condition, color designation, strike quality, certification, and the presence of important mint errors. Standard circulated examples generally remain inexpensive, while premium mint state coins command much stronger prices. Authenticated dramatic mint error specimens, including major double dies, broad strikes, wrong planchet strikes, multiple struck coins, and other extraordinary production mistakes, have generated remarkable collector interest. Some exceptional certified examples have reportedly realized prices ranging from approximately $720,000 to nearly $1,200,000, depending on rarity, provenance, professional grading, and intense auction competition. Collectors searching through old jars, estate collections, or inherited albums should inspect every 1985 Lincoln cent carefully. A coin that appears ordinary at first glance may reveal valuable characteristics under proper lighting and magnification, making patience one of the most important tools in modern numismatics. Proper storage is essential for preserving long-term collector value. Coins should always be handled only by their edges, stored inside archival quality holders, and protected from moisture, fingerprints, and harsh environmental conditions. Cleaning should never be attempted because it permanently removes original mint surfaces and significantly reduces collector appeal. The 1985 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, no mint mark, represents another fascinating chapter in the evolution of America's most familiar coin. It combines the craftsmanship of the Philadelphia Mint, the continuing legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the technological advances that shaped modern U.S. coin production. More than 4 decades after its release, it remains a meaningful piece for collectors who appreciate both history. Now, let's continue with our 5th and final coin. Today's featured coin is the 1986 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, produced at the Philadelphia Mint and identified by the absence of a mint mark. Although this coin was struck in enormous quantities for everyday circulation, it represents another important chapter in the continuing evolution of the Lincoln cent series. More than 3 decades after its release, the 1986 issue continues to attract collectors who search for outstanding mint state examples, unusual die varieties, and spectacular mint errors that can transform an ordinary-looking penny into a highly desirable collectible. The history of the Lincoln cent stretches back to 1909, when the United States Mint introduced the coin to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent became the first regular circulating American coin to feature the portrait of a real historical figure. The decision marked a major turning point in the design of United States coinage, replacing the traditional symbolic images of liberty with the portrait of one of America's most respected presidents. Half a century later, in 1959, the reverse design changed from the famous wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, created by Frank Gasparo. This redesign celebrated the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and remained in production until 2008. By the time the 1986 Lincoln Memorial Penny entered circulation, the memorial design had already become one of the most familiar images found on American coins. The obverse side of the 1986 Lincoln Memorial Penny, no mint mark, displays Abraham Lincoln facing right. The inscriptions "I in God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1986 surround the portrait. Because this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, there is no mint mark beneath the date, identifying its place of origin. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C., surrounded by United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent. When preserved in exceptional condition, the memorial displays remarkable architectural detail, making high-grade examples especially attractive to collectors and grading specialists. During 1986, the Philadelphia Mint continued producing hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents using the copper-plated zinc composition introduced only a few years earlier. These coins entered circulation almost immediately after production, meaning that truly pristine survivors are much scarcer than the original mintage figures might suggest. The 1986 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent consists primarily of 99.2% zinc with a thin outer layer of copper. It weighs approximately 2.5 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. Although the composition differs significantly from the earlier bronze cents, the familiar copper appearance allowed the public to accept the transition without major changes to the coin's recognizable design. Collectors evaluating a 1986 Lincoln cent first examine the surfaces, strike quality, color, and overall preservation. Circulated examples often display scratches, contact marks, faded luster, worn high points, and discoloration caused by decades of everyday handling. Because these are zinc core cents, specialists also inspect the copper plating for bubbles, peeling, or corrosion that can develop over time. Premium mint state examples are much more difficult to locate. Coins displaying brilliant original red color, smooth fields, strong mint luster, crisp lettering, and sharply struck details receive considerable attention from advanced collectors. Certified examples with exceptional eye appeal continue to command strong interest in the marketplace. Professional grading services classify Lincoln cents according to the remaining original copper color. Coins are generally designated as brown, BN, red-brown, RB, or red, RD. Full red examples are especially desirable because they preserve the fresh mint appearance that gradually fades as the copper surface naturally oxidizes. Strike quality remains another important grading factor. Coins struck from fresh dies often display stronger details in Lincoln's portrait, bolder lettering, and sharper architectural features within the memorial. Collectors frequently compare multiple examples before selecting the finest piece for their collections. Another reason collectors continue studying the 1986 Lincoln Memorial Penny is the possibility of discovering unusual mint errors or die varieties. Double dies, broad strikes, clipped planchets, off-center strikes, die cracks, multiple strikes, and wrong planchet errors remain among the most sought-after discoveries within this issue. Although such pieces are uncommon, they continue to inspire collectors to search through old coin rolls, estate collections, and inherited jars of pennies. Collector demand remains steady among Lincoln cent specialists, Philadelphia mint collectors, memorial cent enthusiasts, and modern United States coin collectors building complete date and mint collections. While ordinary circulated examples remain easy to find, premium certified examples become increasingly scarce as more coins experience environmental damage and circulation wear. The market value of the 1986 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, no mint mark, depends on condition, color designation, strike quality, certification, and the presence of significant mint errors or important die varieties. Standard circulated examples usually remain inexpensive, while outstanding mint state coins command substantially stronger premiums. Authenticated major mint error specimens, including dramatic double dies, wrong planchet strikes, broad strikes, off-center strikes, and other extraordinary production mistakes, have generated tremendous excitement among advanced collectors. Some exceptional certified examples have reportedly realized prices ranging from approximately $810,000 to nearly $1,200,000, depending on rarity, professional grading, provenance, and highly competitive auction bidding. Anyone searching through old penny collections should inspect every 1986 Lincoln Memorial penny carefully before setting it aside. Even small differences in strike quality, preservation, plating characteristics, or unusual production features can significantly increase collector interest and make a seemingly ordinary coin worthy of professional examination. Proper storage remains essential for long-term preservation. Collectors should always handle coins by their edges, store them in archival quality holders, and protect them from humidity, fingerprints, chemicals, and unnecessary cleaning. Original mint surfaces are among the most important characteristics considered during professional grading, making careful preservation critical. The 1986 Lincoln Memorial Penny 1 cent, no mint mark, stands as another important chapter in the continuing story of the Lincoln cent. It reflects the craftsmanship of the Philadelphia Mint, the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, and the technological advancements that shaped modern American coin production. Even decades after its release, it continues to remind collectors that remarkable discoveries can still be hiding among everyday pocket change. This brings us to the end of today's episode of Rare CoinX PRO. We hope you enjoyed learning about the history, design, composition, collector demand, and fascinating background of these Lincoln Memorial pennies. Every coin tells a story. Some become famous because of their historical importance, others because of extraordinary mint errors, and a select few because they survive in exceptional condition for future generations to admire. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Rare CoinX PRO, and turn on notifications so you never miss our upcoming coin discoveries and collector guides. Thank you for watching Rare CoinX PRO. Keep searching, keep collecting, and keep exploring the incredible world of rare United States coins. We'll see you in the next episode.